Hello, I'm Dave Berge, Vice President of Heroic Publishing. We recently completed a successful Kickstarter of Huntsman number 9, thanks to those of you who supported it. Two of the stories in that issue follow on from previous stories. The main story, in which the Huntsman and Rose attend a music performance by Skylark and the crew, has everyone encounter the villain Sardonic that Annie and Boomer tussled with in Huntsman number 1. The Red Rapier story is the second part of his origin that began in Champion's Adventures number 15. So I'm going to flip through these stories with you and include plenty of spoilers. Let's start with Marksman number 1. Cover by Pete McDonnell and Gordon Purcell. We skip past an initial two-part Huntsman story and arrive at this one, featuring Annie and Boomer of Skylark's crew. Story by Dennis, Keith Tucker pencils, and Tim Burgard inked it. Boomer is a gadget guy. He also likes to hit things with his big fists. Annie's background has been vague, but we get some revelations in this story and the follow-on. Both of them are musicians in Skylark's crew and federal officials working secretly for Fist. We are at a Dallas Cowboys football practice preseason, and Annie knows nothing about football. Bobby Bill is Boomer's friend from childhood, here for tryouts. After some chatting, he excuses himself to talk to the not at all sketchy guy in the trench coat and floppy hat. Hmm. He gives them a key to get an unauthorized look at something. Annie might have seen the sketchy guy before, and he definitely recognizes Annie. He'll get a name in the next story, Sardonic. Back outside, three friends walking at night, now playing The Living Daylights, 1987. Timothy Dalton is the new Bond. Bobby Bill reminisces that Boomer was playing with gadgets way back when. Boomer mentions Bobby Bill picking fights. Since we're always seeing Boomer punch someone, that's quite an indictment. The mystery villain sneaks up from behind and does a Vulcan nerve pinch on Bobby Bill, who collapses. Note that tonight's villain shops at the same clothing store as the Invincible Thugmaster. Annie tackles the villain. All of the crew can fight. He puts a whammy on her, some mental power. After she recovers, we find out that Boomer couldn't see Mr. Villain while Annie could. And Bobby Bill is dead, so that was a touch of death. Skip ahead to the police interview at the morgue. Blood toxicology has been done, so quite a bit later. Bobby Bill died of the rare lethal drug Sardane. This might be murder. Cut to Bobby Bill's fancy apartment, which police are watching. The police lieutenant in charge grants access when Boomer flashes a fist badge. This is not a federal crime, so the lieutenant is just being courteous. Now, Boomer makes a fortuitous discovery, but he does zero in on the one thing in the room of particular interest to him and Annie, an Eternity Smith figurine, Skylark's dad. Bobby Mill might have planned for this. As I said before, Boomer likes to punch things. Crash! And we find a hidden safe that pops open because it wasn't locked. Boomer finds a Dallas Cowboys playbook, something that would be even more valuable in this day of widespread pop prop betting. Hey, remember the villain of this story? He's posing as the uniformed cop on guard, grabs Annie, pulls a gun, and Annie has a hard time thinking because of something about the villain. The villain, by the way, is making quips here and before. He has a dismissive, humorous tone, almost sardonic. Lieutenant gets shot. Boomer attacks. More broken glass. Villain gets a grip on Boomer now, but doesn't use his death touch. Boomer in trouble. Annie refocuses her thoughts. I think we can write off the lieutenant as dead. Mr. Bad Guy laughs at Annie's hesitation, but she shoots. He's hit and goes over the side. But we do have a panel between her shot and the bullet hitting. Maybe some mental trick again. Falling villain laughs all the way down and goes whoop on the ground. And while the two crew members embrace and recover, they can still hear the laughing. You know where he will appear next. Next, we turn to Champions Adventures number 15. The cover is one you may have seen before, possibly over my right shoulder in the introduction. Cover by Luis Rivera. In the lead story, I'll just show one relevant page. Madam Sin, who leads the enemies, sends Red Rapier in to get in good with the League of Champions, then betray them. Flipping ahead to the story of immediate interest, Rose and baby Olga are hanging out with Teresa and Christine. That's Psyche, baby Sparkplug, Flare, Icicle. Olga as a baby means this story and its later parts are set sometime in the past. Since we're also in the middle of our Challenge of the Gods storyline, where Olga is grown up again. And of course, Will Jensen is the third giant in that story, where even later he is the splendiferous G-Girl. I hope our readers can follow all of these timelines. Back to the three women. Basically, they are failing the Bechdel test. They're talking about Christine dating Jimmy Dooley and about Donald Hunter proposing to Rose. Maybe Rose nudged Donald just a teeny bit with her mental powers? That sets off an argument. No one notices the baby who gets away and sticks a finger in the electrical socket. Baby Sparkplug has baby electrical powers, so it's for fun. Olga next zaps Christine with an electrical shock. Olga, always a brat. And the intruder alert goes off. We find out it's Red Rapier talking to himself, probably recording, letting us know this is the headquarters under Golden Gate Park. So here is the Red Rapier sneaking in. and everyone is ready for him, now in costume. So he turns on the charm, something he's very good at. He wants to join the League of Champions. Sure, he does. Who wouldn't be suspicious? Icicle certainly is. Others are inclined to allow for some doubt. Red Rapier gets a shock as well from Olga. Got to keep the comic element going. So finally, they ask Red Rapier why he is there. Of course, he's there to betray a member of the enemies. Esper will be alone somewhere, and Flair must hurry with him if they are to capture Esper. He then spins some reasons, rather plausible, as to why Rose and Icicle shouldn't go as well. They would be detected. So, after all that, Flair will be going with Red Rapier after all to this supposed location of Esper. Icicle still thinks he's a liar. She might be an expert on lying. And that explains the first panel of the next story, written by one of our less well-known writers. So now you know. That was the Annie and Boomer story from Huntsman #1, and the beginning of the Red Rapier origin from Champion's Adventure #15. Huntsman #9, where both stories continue, is still available for late pledges on Kickstarter as I record this. If you like my flip-throughs more than you like Dennis's interviews, hit that like button and leave a comment. Subscribe to receive more Heroic Voice interviews and other videos. Thanks for watching.